telemedicine, what does that mean?
Like, doctors, like they communicate with your patient and doctors between like the electronic devices.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
They help them out.
Perfect. So they were talking about how they use like iPads, smartphones, if you have a computer set up. And who is that really good for? Like, what do they highlight in there? What group of people? Or what's a common feature? People who might use telemedicine. Michaela?
People who live far away.
Yeah, so people who might live in really small towns, they're not anywhere close to a big city. You know, you could probably imagine some of the like smaller towns here in Minnesota. People could be an hour, 2 hours from what would really be like a decent sized hospital. They might have a clinic, but if they needed to actually see someone in a hospital, it could be really hard for them to get there. So especially, you know, if it's someone who's older, maybe they can't drive themselves, they would have to rely on somebody else to get them there. They like this idea of telemedicine, so you get time with your doctor, you know, instead of having to put it off until you can make that trip. What was one of the negative things, though, that they mentioned that could be kind of a downside to using telemedicine? Amelia? Yeah, so that doctor was saying for some people it's great, but sometimes like I don't feel like I've gotten the full picture if I can't actually physically see the patient. So you could imagine like the example that they showed on there. Some of the things work like they could get a blood pressure reading, they could get like all of your vital signs. That wasn't difficult. You know, but if somebody's like complaining of a pain, or you know maybe they're afraid they've like broken a bone, that's kind of hard to do if you're just looking at them over a screen. You're not there, you can't feel things, you can't touch, and sometimes too, you know, patients might not be as honest, you know, if they're not face to face, like actually in person with somebody, they might say they feel better than they actually do. Okay. So from your perspective, how would you feel if that's how, like if you did like checkups and things like that, would you want to talk to your doctor that way? You say no? Why not? Go ahead.
Because it also, like, we're not going to be able to like trust them as much. Because, you know, like there might be a doctor one day and then out of nowhere there might be a different doctor and then you won't know if he's like subbing for him or
okay. Yeah, and that's a good point. It might not always be your doctor, because a lot of times I think what they were saying that, you know, you call into it with telemedicine, it's sort of like whoever's around. That's sort of the convenience factor. So you could get somebody faster, but you can't be like, oh, that's my doctor, and always rely on something. That's a good point. Rose?
Probably if like there's like a bruise on my leg or something, and if I was in the doctor's office and if they see it, then they're like, oh, what is that from? And they're checking me like, oh, yeah, like a bruise vein or something. But if I'm over the screen, you can't see my leg, and I just think like, oh, I bumped my leg on the table, and it like spreads, and then you get bad.
So maybe you feel like you're not going to get like that full exam. You know, if all they can do is see what you're talking about.